Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. Unfortunately, my round 2 replay against Jonton seems to have been misplaced, so if you do want to see that game, go ahead and check out Total Brohammer or Shadow Online Gaming. This is, of course, from Shadow's Spring Tournament. I did end up losing that series 2-0 to Jonton, so now I'm playing in the third place battle here. As you can see, it's going to be Vampire Counts versus Skaven. We're just going straight into the battle here. In terms of the builds, Manfred von Karstein's going to be leading the Vampires. He's got a Vargolf, the Claw of Nagash, frontline mix of Grave Guards, Skeleton Spears, and probably some Skeleton Swords in there as well. I have quite a few Clan Rats, mostly Clan Rats with 3 Storm Vermin, 1 with Halberd, and 2 with Sword and Board. We also have 2 Hellpit Abominations, Skrolk, Warlock Engineer, and a Plague Furnace. So relatively straightforward Skaven build. You can see we've already got the mash underway, and we're going to start having issues. Mainly that Skaven leadership is absolutely terrible, and with all these rear charge penalties going down, all these units that cause fear and terror, my Clan Rats in particular are going to be routed off very, very quickly here. You can see the Claw of Nagash pushing through in the front line. The Vargolf is going to be a pretty strong target, actually. We're going to try and get into him here with the Storm Vermin and the Plague Priest. Unfortunately, that is going to leave my backline a little bit exposed. There's some Varix Reavers chilling over on the side. There's quite a few Hounds and Fellbats as well that help chase off routing units. So as soon as those Clan Rats start to get terrified and rout away, they'll get chased down. We do have Clan Rats fighting Tithe out here on the side. The Hell Pits are doing okay so far, monster mashing a little bit in the center. You can see the Plague Drains also going down, doing quite a bit of damage to these Grave Guards. But yeah, you can see just this mass terror route, and look at this Storm Vermin, 118 unit models, and yet they still get terror routed. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think they got hit by a Doom and Darkness or anything from Manfred, but yeah, man, getting that Storm Vermin Talbot terrified off like that's pretty rough. That being said, they are maybe in a position to intercept the Varix Reavers here. We're trying to focus aggressively with the Hellpit Abominations on this Claw of Nagash here, as the sooner we can take it out, the sooner we're going to prevent that damage from going down. Likewise, Janna is going to be focusing on the Plague Priest here with his Vargolf, who does solid armor-piercing damage. He'll be able to work that thing down over time. Doesn't do the most, but unfortunately, these Storm Vermin with Halberds, bogged down with zombies, now get hit by a Doom and Darkness and rear charged by the Varix Reavers. Probably going to get routed off here. They're still holding their leadership for the moment, but we'll see. Meanwhile, Claw of Nagash sitting in this pocket. You can see all my Kaiju units are pretty much isolated already because all the Clan Rats just ran away. We're starting to get some units rallying, Storm Vermin also rallying, so we're winning in this pocket. Maybe we can start to push up a little bit here. The Hellpit Abomination's going after the Vargolf, of course, with its armor with its anti-large. Should be able to do okay. Armor piercing doesn't really matter too much against the Vargolf, but the Vargolf, of course, has regeneration, as does the Hellpit, so it should be a little bit of a wash. The issue is, for both of our forces, is that there's so much AoE damage effects, and since the Vampires have healing, they're winning out in a lot of situations. These Varix Reavers running down a lot of Clan Rat Spears, and Storm Vermin, they were also to break 79 kills and climbing. Meanwhile, down on the low ground, Clan Rat Spear still bogged up on these dang Tithe. I really need these guys to push up here. That being said, of course, there's so many terror routing units in this pocket, they'd probably just get terrified away anyway. We're trying desperately to keep the Plague Priest safe, but my Hellpit Abominations just refusing to follow my orders here. I keep aggressively pathing them to attack primarily the Vargolf, and then anytime this Claw of Nagash comes close, we're going to target it as well, but my Hellpits keep getting distracted attacking like these Graveguard and Skeleton Spears and so forth, and thus are dropping their attack orders to pursue the Vargolf. So the Vargolf's getting through, and because I don't have any fodder troops nearby, it's not getting its attack animations distracted in the same way. And so you can see here, again, my attack order being dropped here due to just a couple of Graveguard in base contact with the Hellpit Abomination, so the Vargolf is able to get away. I really don't have any high mass units that can pin this guy in, so it's going to be tough to catch him, and then even tougher to deal damage. Yeah, but there he does get bowled over by the Hellpit Abomination, but being that he took that charge and just got knocked over, I don't think he took the full brunt of the damage there. But the drain effects are doing their damage over time. You can see zombies and Sternsmen. Sternsmen are approaching their healing cap. Some of these other Grave Guard have taken quite a bit of damage as well. Unfortunately, we're just not able to finish off this Mortis Engine. Varix Reavers still going around the back line, cleaning up lots of routing units. Balance power still relatively close at this point. A lot of the Skaven Kaiju units are still in good shape. This Hell Pit Abomination, though, is getting pretty low. This other one's doing okay. But we're going to try and go after some of these high-value units here. And, yeah, I'm just having an issue focus firing on the appropriate targets. Like here, I actually had an attack order on the Claw of Nagash, but instead, the Hell Pit Abomination came in. It did actually take down a couple of those Varix Reavers, but because it is so slow to turn around, and its animations in general are just very plodding. Because of one distracted attack animation, the Claw of Nagash is easily able to get out in front and get away, so it's a little bit of a rust situation in that way. We're trying to catch Manfred here, who just finished off that Plague Furnace, but of course I don't have any units to help pin him in. The Warlock Engineer is still draining this pocket for me, thankfully, with his Warpstone armor, so Graveguard and other units not doing too well. Sternsmen are almost at their healing cap, so he's been able to do quite a bit of damage in the front line. It's going to end up being a pretty close battle, but we'll see if these Hell Pits, this Hell Pit in particular, still has a lot of healing cap space left, but if it ends up going down, it could be really, really bad here. If it doesn't get that too horrible to die proc, and it's, yeah, it does look like that fails to go off, and instead it just spawns some Skaven Slave Spears. So very unfortunate for me. You can see immediately the balance power starting to tilt in the Vampire's favor with losing such a powerful unit like that that had so much healing cap space left. If we had been able to maybe get it out of that situation and heal it up a little bit and then come back, you can see a lot of the Vampire units are at their healing cap already. So because I had so much cap space left, I probably would have been able to win just through sheer attrition if I had got that too horrible to die proc right there. But at this point, it's going to be pretty tough for me to come back. That being said, Skrulk here is not actually taking that much damage from the Vargulf. He doesn't have the best melee attack, and Skrulk has decent melee defense. And meanwhile, Skrulk's actually able to do a little bit of damage back to the Vargulf. And oh man, just the ping-pong effect with the Hell Pit coming in, knocking the Vargulf, and the Vargulf then knocking Lord Skrulk. But yeah, you can see the last of my chaff rotting off proper. We have one more Storm Vermin Sword and Board rallying to this pocket up here. And yeah, the Vargulf is being kind of hit from both sides here. Unfortunately, Lord Skrulk keeps getting knocked over by these Varix Reavers that are now coming into this pocket. You can see perpetually just getting knocked over here. And yeah, I don't think I have any Clan Rat summons left in with Lord Skrulk here, so unfortunately you can see the balance power starting to tip as this Hell Pit Abomination starts to take more and more damage. Manfred in particular, I mean, if this were a one-on-one, the Hell Pit would definitely win, but whereas Manfred's soaked in with all these other unit models here, when the splash attacks get divvied up into the various models, and you can see, like right here, for example, this Hell Pit Abomination, despite having two high-value targets on either side, is choosing to instead attack these Graveguard and Varix Reavers, which granted are high-value, you know, in a way, but definitely the bigger threat here is the Vargulf and the Mortis Engine. But yet, at this point, the Hell Pit Abomination looks like it's almost stagger-locked, and it is getting very, very low. Unless it gets that too horrible to die proc, it's going to die very, very soon here. So let's see. Unfortunately, yeah, you can see its attack order is a little bit janky there, not really focusing in the direction that I wanted it. Meanwhile, Skrulk's pinned in by the Varix Reavers. They're not actually doing that much damage at the end of the day, but at this point, the Hell Pit Abomination, looks like Overcast Doom and Darkness is going to finish off its leadership, and with that, Lord Skrulk is the only thing left, so yeah, very nice use of Doom and Darkness there by Janet to finish off that Hell Pit Abomination. If it did get a couple of the too horrible to die procs there right at the end, and it still would have been a very atrocious late game fight there, just because most of the Vampire units are getting to their healing cap, so all the damage being done by that Hell Pit would have been true damage. But whew, very close battle at the end of the day. Very well played to Janet. I'm of course Modron O'Rain, and Janet is fighting as a spooky ghost. So well played to him. And of course, I'll have a link down to his channel in the description below, so be sure to check him out. We're going to be taking it on to Game 2 in the next battle, so stay tuned for that. If you do like this kind of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Oh, what am I doing? We got to do a post-game analysis here. Anyway, a little bit premature there, but Anyway, the Hellpit Abominations, 2 XP chevrons each, they ended up getting some good work done, but just weren't quite able... the one not getting the too horrible to die proc was really unlucky. I mean, that is kind of a dice roll thing, so, you know, it didn't go in my favor, and that in and of itself is pretty tough. Janet also did a really good job of routing off my chaff units, so that then those Hellpits were constantly being distracted by the chaff units of the vampire counts rather than attacking the high value units that I wanted them to. So yeah, Clan Rats really showing their weakness there with their terrible leadership. One of them, the one that got into the tide, was able to do some good work, and the Plague Priest, of course, racking up 90 kills as well. Pretty solid. But yeah, for Janet, the Varix Reavers and the Stearnsmen, Varix Reavers 311 kills, and the Stearnsmen 104, 111 for the Claw of Nagash. 2 XP chevrons and 35 for the Vargulf. Vargulf primarily was getting damage against the Skaven Kaiju units, but yeah, I really like the pick of the Varix Reavers and the Stearnsmen in this matchup. Any of the regeneration units with the standard quote-unquote regeneration trait, just because the Skaven only really have warp fire throwers that do fire damage, and they're not a super reliable unit, so all the fire, you know, fire weakness troops, the ones with the standard regeneration, like these Varix Reavers and the Stearnsmen, they're very, very good in this particular matchup, so I really like that pick there. Janet also used them very effectively, combining with the Doom and Darkness from Manfred to help chase down a lot of those routing units after he routed them off with the Doom and Darkness, using the Varix Reavers and the Hounds and so on very effectively. So well played to Janet, for real now. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Be sure to subscribe, all that jazz, and we'll see you next time.